what I really want the mindset to be is this. I want you to fall in love with your life. I want the movie, the scene to be on your life. And for so many people, I think a lot of people think they are what do they call that? Like co-stars or extras in their own movie. And I'm
Mhm.
like, just don't do that. Like we look at Drake, we look at NBA athletes, athletes across the board. I'm like, you're the athlete. You're Drake. You're that person, and start acting like it. Start operating your entire life like that, as if you're the star of the movie. Not that you're arrogant or anything like that. It's that you have to. That is true gratitude. That is true gratitude. So start really operating in that manner of, man, imagine from a bird's eye view, like Myra's tracking her macros again. She's weighing her food again. No other girls, no other women would do that, but she does. She got up in the morning. Yes, she did that. And everybody's watching you all just go through life and you're just murking it. And if you're not murking it meaning like if you're not killing it, you handle business and you face those tests and you overcome them. I know Kimberly's on this call and I'm like, she had a bunch of tests. She didn't crack. She faced them. And that's very admirable. But when you play that movie, that's kind of what I want everybody to have that visual. That's what keeps you accountable because we are being watched. We really are. We're watched all the time. Just remember the audience that's watching us is God. So like just I always say report above, but I hope that this whole visual that I'm giving you helps you because now you can be present. Like this call, me right here, everybody wants to be right here doing this call. But on your end, everybody wants to be in your position listening to this call. You're getting fed. When you have that mindset shift, now you're locked in and being present. Being present is like a freaking superhero skill. If money is not coming to you, it's because you're too far in the future or you're too far in the past. If you're not feeling peace, it's because the future or the past, we got to get locked in right now. And that's kind of what I'm trying to deliver to everybody. It's like, hey, I don't care where you're at. I don't know where Harry's at. I know Kimberly because she's one of my one-on-one clients. I know where she was at. I don't know where Omar's at. I don't know where Wendell's at. All of you guys are successful in different ways, but I don't know what you're struggling with. But if you ever catch yourself out of pocket, out of alignment, bring it back to be like, I gotta love this moment right now. Does that hit you guys? Does that make sense?
That was so fire. I need a raise?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Kimberly, how you doing today?
Can you hear me? Wait, wait, wait.
Yeah, I could hear you. I
Oh,
actually don't usually I have hands raised, but I kind of like the fact that I'm always asking for engagement and I'm like, oh, I heard somebody.
I was trying to unmute myself, but I can't see, and I'm actually lost track of time, so I apologize for being late. These are prescription sunglasses, so I can see. My glasses are in the car. Anyhow,
Yeah.
thank you for that. You posted something last week about, or this week, about being in the moment, and I couldn't help but, and I know it's kind of like going to church. When you go to church and you hear the message, you're like, damn, does God know what's going on with me? You feel like that whole message was written for you.
Yeah.
Or at least that's the way I feel. And so I've told you many times when you speak on Instagram, a lot of the stuff that you say like really resonates, and I feel like you're speaking directly to me. And so you had said about living in the moment, and I was in a dark place last week. I freaking wanted to die, literally. Not. And I told my daughter, I go, it's not like oh, I want to go kill myself, but I wouldn't mind if it just
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I just want to let everybody know that this is coming from a business woman who's successful. Like this can happen to the most best built body, to the most successful athlete, to a successful business person. If we don't take care of us, if we don't keep ourselves in alignment, and the biggest thing for you was reporting above, that's I would imagine that's what brought you back to where you need to be.
Yeah,
But I just
no,
want to put that out there for everybody. It does not matter if you're at the bottom. It doesn't matter if you're at the top. It happens. How do you get back is the question. You
right.
know.
Yeah, no, and it's well, surrendering, and we had the Wednesday call last week, or was it the other table? It was one. I've been on so many calls with you lately that they've been all
Yeah.
so good. But so I that day I wrote in my journal, and I'm at my daughter's condo right now, so I don't have my journal with me. But I wrote in my journal the three biggest lies that I'm living
Mm,
right now that nobody knows about, just me and God.
mhm.
Well, I thought it was just me, but in that moment I realized that God, and it was like, whoa. And so I literally wrote the whole cold, hard truth down. And
Yes.
then I went and read them out loud to somebody else.
Wow. Wow.
So that night, I mean, man, and I was like, wow, it was a hard night. I barely slept. But then the next day I got up and I heard your post, live in the moment. Like I'm like, what am I doing? I have this business. Yesterday we had our annual safety meeting. I have 100 employees. I don't know if you saw on Instagram my
Mhm.
employees that I posted,
I
and
saw that. Yeah.
all, yeah, and I'm like, and all my company trucks, and they're all full of tools. And we had one of my partners was outside guarding that because of the neighborhood we were in. Hey, well, I won't even talk about that. But anyways, and I'm just looking around and I'm like,
I
damn,
think you're down there actually.
what's that?
Oh no, sorry. Somebody was
Oh,
unmuted.
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so just realizing that I was not being present and being grateful for, and then you posting with your nephew, and my son came over, and I have a son that's 13 years old, like your nephew.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, be grateful. You got these people that love you. You have quality love in your life. And you're
Yeah.
freaking focused on the one idiot that's not freaking giving you the right attention. What kind of queen are you?
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
And
It-
that's
it's-
coming from a woman that's a founder of a multi-million-dollar business, guys. And I can't even tell you how good it feels to be so authentic and brave enough to freaking show your weaknesses, and I'm in this group and being coached by Coach Mike and Coach V because I need it.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a level of accountability that we all need, and I'm pretty good at putting the mirror up and holding holding you accountable. But it also takes somebody to receive too. And so I'm very grateful for all of you guys who receive the message. And something that I think is very important that I think you do very well, Kimberly, is you'll never one of the things that I like that you did was you wrote down the three biggest lies and then you said them out loud to somebody. That's the first way to actually break the chains. You are literally breaking the stronghold from your mind or whatever it may be. You have to confess. And when you can confess to a safe environment or to a cover, it's almost like a covering too, in a way. It's so good. And I just think about people who don't ever say anything. They're just like, maybe a person like yourself, like who's successful, they're like, I'm successful. I cannot break this image. I can only share my wins. I'm not going to say any negative. You have to find a group or a person or a freaking a bishop to tell your freaking sins to and confess what God. You
Can
have
I say
yeah,
something
yeah,
to
yeah.
that point?
Yeah.
I will say that any person and I live that way, I did live that way. And any person living that way is not at peace. God will remove all peace from your soul if you are living like that.
Mhm.
I know it. I'm 56 years old, going on 57, and I'm telling you, I know it
Mhm.
firsthand. He doesn't play with that. You don't live that way. He doesn't honor that, and he will. And that's the thing. It's like when you say God, the fear of God. I have the fear of God in me at this moment because I have such peace doing
Mhm.
all the things that I just did with
Right,
the confession and the surrender and all
right,
the things that you talk about.
right,
Um, you talk about those things over and over again because they freaking work. If you do
right,
it, they work. And
right,
anybody
right,
that's coming to you and going, God, what's this? It's not working for me. It's well, because you're not doing you. It's so simple for you to see that they haven't broke the habit.
right, right.
If they're even coming to you going, it's not working, because if you do it, it's going to work.
Yep. Amen.
So it doesn't matter if you have a successful business. It was another call that you were on where, and if any of you guys are not I encourage you to get on some of these calls because they really are good. And there's gems in there that I use and apply to my life that have helped me so much. And that's I broke down my life into 4 categories, which is my faith, which is number one, my fitness, because my health has to be on point, um,
Right.
and my finances, because you need the finances to serve God, to take care of yourself. And then I put my family, and people are probably like, why do you always put family after? And it's like, if you do the other 3 things
Mhm.
to is chef's kiss, I do, if you do those things as best as you can, then the family and friends and the universe get the best of you, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like I learned that from you. And so um I also learned that, okay, my finances can be on point, my fitness can be on point,
Mhm.
but my relationships and my faith, if those two are off,
Big ones.
they affect each other, and eventually they'll affect the other two.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense. Yeah.
I mean, life is like a formula that I think God gives us, and it's broken down into those 4 things, and they all have to balance out. They do.
Absolutely. I think something it all comes to down to us, right? So it's like um if we are not right, one of the things, you guys are all successful in different ways, and Kimberly has totally done so well and doing more and more, and Myra's doing well, and going to do more. One of the things that I've been thinking about is rest. Rest, 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 rest. And I know the word rest to normal people might be like, oh, like comfort, relaxing. No, rest meaning, are you just doing the work to get the money, but you still have inner turmoil? That's a very, very dangerous spot. Or even, are you working out just waiting to get to the result? That's even inner turmoil. So the question where I want to bring everyone back to, you have to like search your heart. And I think, Kimberly, you're doing a really good job with checking yourself almost day by day, moment to moment, to be like, where am I at? Where am I at? And we've removed a lot of different vices. You know, everybody has vices, by the way. I was just telling my whole team at the gym a couple hours ago. I was like, just because homie Jesus is struggling with alcohol, and you're like, oh, I don't have any vices. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You have a vice. There is something that you're doing. There's vices behind the vices behind the vices. You just got to look for them. And what is a vice? A vice is anything that you regret, anything that your conscience or the Holy Spirit, one would say, if you're spiritual, the Holy Spirit is convicting you on. Those are the ones that you must correct. And all that to say, and I'll let Coach V say a couple words, is this whole program is about alignment. If you are out of alignment and you don't have that peace, oh, you're so right, Kimberly. Like your business is going to struggle, your fitness is going to struggle, your relationships, you're going to project on your people. If you don't reflect, you're going to project. If you don't reflect on all the things that you got going on in your heart, you will project like a mother on those people, and you're going to push them away. And you're not, it's like, we got to heal ourselves first before we even really interact with anybody. That's why first thing in the morning, report above. Before you interact with anybody, report above. And then number two, go work out, because we're working out our emotions and our thoughts. We're working out all our bad stuff, and then go into the world and be like, here I am, like my best self, instead of bringing all this garbage of like, I don't know, it could be anything, guys. And we don't have to get into all this stuff, but it's all the stuff that, you know, bills, lacking money, maybe lust, maybe insecurities. We got to check all that in the early hours. That way we don't push it out into our business. That's just BS, you know, like it's just not even, that's not a leader. Leaders don't do that. And I know it happens to everyone. It happens. Has happened to me. So, you know, that's why I speak on it, because it happens to me, it happens to her, it happens to all of us. But as leaders, we got to check ourselves. But you got anything?
I'm sitting here thinking, I like your four areas, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, that makes sense. And I think it's interesting because with working with I work with men and women, but like, as far as like one-on-one, like I work with more women than men. And I think that, especially for women, but actually for everybody, probably, that relationships are one of the hardest ones for people to handle.
For women.
For women, especially. Yeah. It touches men and women, but women especially for a few reasons. But I like what you said, like when I handle all the other areas, then like my family gets taken care of. And I think that's so key and very wise, because the other three, the faith, the money, and your body, those three are totally up to you and you alone. Like, you don't have to rely on anybody else for any of those other, I mean, you do, like, just the way that you have everything set up, like, obviously, but like, all those things are within your control. You can make money, you can change your body, you can connect with God. When it comes to relationships, you have a part, and then the other person has their part. Like, it's a dynamic relationship. There's more than one person involved. And so not everything is controlled in the relationship category. And I'm not just talking about like partner, I'm talking about like literally any sort of relationship you have in your life, like kids, parents, friends, like anybody. Those are what mess people up, mostly women. And I was telling Coach Mike, I'm like, I have women that like, they'll start with me on my program, and they're like, they just, broke up with their guy or whatever. And this is kind of like their way of like finding themselves. And then like 2 months later, they'll like get back, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this in the contract. Like, y'all can't get together again until you finish the program, because it's the one thing that will mess a woman up.
We got to give people the stamp of approval to be like, we're gonna release you out into the wild now. You're approved. You're ready to go.
Yes.
You guys need to rewrite my contract, my next contract, and put that clause in there, because that's my freaking problem, and you know it. So.
I didn't know with you, but I'm not surprised, because like it happens a lot to a lot of women, and I think it's because I actually think that it's not that hard for women to make money once we get over the self-worth kind of things. I don't think that's our problem. I don't think that we have a hard time connecting with God once we kind of get rid of those vices. Where we have the hardest time is not losing ourselves in other people.
That was good, V. I like that.
So good.
Yeah.
I totally, I resonate with all of that. That's me.
Wow. Yeah. That's so interesting. And I just I'll get to the next question, but what you said about, if you look at any church or people who talk about God, who is it? It's not men, it's women. Women are, I asked Gilbert at the gym, I don't know if I told you this, or I'll tell all of you guys this. I was like, if the devil is going to attack a family, who is he going to go through first? The man or the woman? And long story short, he's like, I don't know. He's like, it's hard because the man has a big role, and then the woman has a big role. But I was telling him, oftentimes the best one to go through is the woman, because the woman holds the spiritual tie connection that's holding a lot of support, that's creating a lot of support for the guy, the cousin, the brother who's out drinking, who needs covering. I've had you probably have them all too. That praying grandmother, that praying grandma, that aunt, that mother. I'm like, yeah, they prayed for you. And I know that those prayers were answered. They weren't answered 8 months later. They were answered 8 years later, but they were still answered. And so I'm like, the woman it's like, we can't deny the intuition and the connection, the spiritual connection. And I like also what you said about money. I'm like, women don't have a problem making women. When I have a sales team, like that, when I have a sales, I'm not hiring men. I'm hiring all women. I'm kind of joking, but like, yeah, like I'm gonna get 5, and I'm just gonna have all like successful aligned women do the sales. But anyway, I hope that helps, guys.
I will say, can I say one thing to
Yeah,
that about
absolutely.
for us women? That I don't know. There's one person that's not on camera, so I count 3 of us women, 3 queens on here right now that I see. And I am the lead founder of my company, and I have how much 92 employees right now, 92. And I had just hired my 3rd female. And can I tell, my daughter's the 2nd female. I'm going to tell you, all of the men in my company love and respect each one of us, and would go to death for all of us. Why? Because they feel so secure in how we lead them. It's crazy, how we have so much like you said, connection. And I don't know if it's that. It's the maternal instinct, whether you're a mother or not, we have that in us. And I don't know why we have that special power if we know how to use it.
100%. Like, I was just kind of referring more to, like, you just look at a church, and most of the people who are like pushing, like, hey, read the Bible or read that, it's going to be women. But even I was telling the
That's
team,
what I'm talking about. That special power that you have, that connection.
Right.
I think. What do you think, Coach V? It's because women are or men are less likely to show their emotion and show and displaying or showing a connection with God is makes them feel less masculine.
Oh,
because I think some men have great spiritual connection. I think you do, Coach Mike.
Well, you look at all the people in the Bible. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. I'm like, I got this one. Yeah. No, but you look at, like, not to negate like the women in the Bible, because there's some pretty cool stories in there. Not beyond cool. That's not even the right word. But a lot of the men who had the most spiritual connection are men. Moses, Joseph, David. I mean, Paul, Peter. Like, all these guys had massive connections with above. And but I will say this. I think it's super important. Like, I was telling a guy, Jesus, at the gym, and he was like in the bathroom, and he was like, bro, and he's been on point with the program, by the way. He's like lifting 5 plates on deadlift. That's like close to 500. It's 500 pounds. And he's all getting all ripped. And he has a business. Anyway, just to give you a context. And he's like, I went out, coach, last night. He's like, but I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do any of that. But I still went out. And he's like, but I'm here. I only got 2 hours of sleep. And I'm like, listen, like, he was still attached to his old life just a little bit. And I had to tell him, like, bro, just let go of that. Because he's a guy that used to go, I'm like, I know why you're going there. You're looking for a partner, or you're looking to fulfill lust. And I'm like, bro, you're just better off finding it in a different place. Guys, most guys go to the clubs. Most people go to places like that for certain reasons. And I'm not like, you guys like have to take that with a grain of salt, right? Yeah. You have to understand, like, what I was telling them, like, you're headed for greatness, and the woman is so powerful that you have to find a woman that's going to support the elevation and the rise. You have to find someone that's equally yoked, if not more. And that's why I think when you brought up that thing about, you have 3 women for all these guys and they all respect you. I'm like, yeah, because you're supporting the heck out of them. You're pushing them. And I think that's a man's downfall, is a weak woman. I really do. I think my mom kept my dad from going down a path of drinking, and he's like 30 years sober now. But that's what has allowed me to get here. I don't know if you guys are hearing what I'm saying, but like, the woman has a freaking prominent prominent role, and you just got to know, like spiritually, supporting, they support the mission, you know, they support the mission.
No, and going back to what Coach V had said, you know, and the 4 categories, when we give into the relationship or whatever that clause is that you're going to put in my contract next,
Right.
you lose your power, you know, especially in the faith, which ultimately affects all the other 3, you know, because the faith has to be, and that's what you go back to. That has to be on point first and foremost, period. It has to be. And I say that to people now, like whatever your God is, like I believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God. That's my belief. But whoever your God is, that is who you have to report to and surrender to, and all the things that we have to do. Otherwise, you want to die when things get hard, you know?
Absolutely.
Not like kill yourself, but you wouldn't mind. You just don't want to exist, and you cease to be grateful for the good things that are right in front of you, like this call, and being present and really engaging in what you have to say, and learning from that, and applying the little nuggets that apply to you, and sharing that with the world. And then when that happens, we use that, like when I'm talking to my teams and stuff, and I'm trying to lead and motivate my own company. We use landscaping a lot. And even in the Bible, there's always, talking of like the soils and the this and everything is, every analogy is tied into landscaping. I don't know if you've noticed that. But anyways, and that I shine the best, and I'm able to articulate a sentence and succeed in life the best when I'm in a true, authentic relationship with God every day and not bullshitting him. Because if you can't bullshit him, you can't. And when you realize that you can't, and you just do what you're supposed to do, all the trees start blossoming flowers, and it just is that way. And that's how I see eternity too, forever without any pain.
Absolutely. No, I love the message. I love the message. And I was telling, I hope this helps you guys. I just really quickly in 45 seconds want to say this is like about the basically like everybody is accountable for what they have. You know what I'm saying? It's like a whole topic. Sorry guys. I'm looking at all of you guys and I'm like, you guys are all accountable for, maybe V has 5,000 souls that she's going to reach. Maybe Myra has, I'm just going to throw out random numbers. Maybe Myra has 2,000 souls in her lifetime that she's going to reach. Maybe Omar has 10,000. Maybe Kimberly, maybe you have 50,000. We all have like souls on our little contract. The thing is that, are you going to walk that line and fulfill it? The thing that won't allow you to do that and live that life is if you stay out of alignment. If you're not doing, I'm talking about I hope this really speaks to you guys. If you're not really taking care of you, the first soul that you got to get right is you. The first soul that you got to get right is you before you ever get anybody else. And this is what I want to say. As a leader, take that responsibility to be like, you know what? I have to post on my social media today. I have to get up today. I have to hit my macros today, because that's going to keep there's a certain level of authentic, real power in your words when you hold your word. And if you lose that and you're watching porn, if you're doing the vices that you shouldn't be doing, when you go and try to touch that soul that was like only destined for you, it wasn't destined for me, it was only destined for you, you're gonna miss. And you fucked that up, is what I would say. You messed that up. That was on you. And so this is more of like a call of like leadership to be like, hey, you got some people that are waiting for you to rise. Don't slip on them. If you slip, they fall. If you slip, they fall. So I hope that motivates, some of you guys are already leaders. Some of you don't know you're a leader. You are. You have to call yourself up. So you got anything, last thing? I mean, that's a message right there. That's a straight full-blown message. Like, don't let any blood spill on your hands. There's no blood going to be spilled on your hands. Like, just don't let it happen. In a moment of weakness for years on years and years and years, mistakes, okay. But not like, you can't let a season turn into a whole decade. That is not right,
Yeah, so good.
All right, well, let's get on to thank you, Kimberly and Myra. Thank you. Let's get on to, man, I haven't talked to Window in how long? It's been a long time. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you guys too.
Yeah, man.
We're grateful. You've changed. You had a pretty significant impact on fitness and just in my life in general. So you'll never know how much you've impacted my life. So I want to thank you for that. So yeah, it's good to see you guys. I did have a question. So what's your approach, your perspective on, standards growth? And for example, like anytime I post a video of me working out or fitness, I have this one guy who messages me and says, you know, you're fat and you're shit, you're undisciplined. And I'm like, well, at this point, you got not 3% body fat, but I don't want to pay that price. At this point, I'm not paying the price to get to 3% body fat.
Right.
Like, is that, and I don't want to be comfortable. I want to grow. I want to be healthy. I want to be fit, but I'm
Right.
also not like, how do you balance that? How do you approach that? Like, what's your perspective on that?
Oh, I mean, like there's some, that's like a layered question. Like, first of all, like we're all here to grow our bodies in different areas. So you're going to have a reverse diet at certain seasons, and then you're going to have a cutting phase. There's going to be times when Wendell's a little fluffy because he's at the end of the bulk. And then there's going to be a season when Wendell's just chopped, just veins and looking crazy, where they're going to tell you, hey, bro, go eat a cheeseburger. They're always going to say something. So it's like, everybody's got something to say. They were talking about my teeth, and I'm like, my teeth. I was like, I didn't even have an insecurity until you said that. I was like, I'm not sure, but like, it's just, so for me personally, I know you know this so well, is identity. Identity. As far as a hater, that should never even touch you or phase you, because you're so confident and you write out your identity, you know who you are. But as far as like people who message you, this is where you have to, I mean, you have to know, like, you're going to go through reverse phases. You're going to go through cut phases. That's just part of the game. That's unless you have anything else to say on that.
Yeah, I think you just rest in like, this is like, it is interesting how much people have an opinion on other people on the internet that is really none of their business, to be honest with you. But
I could tell you already, that's all just straight false, because I know, I'm like, this guy bench presses this and he does this. And I'm like, who would have said that? A hater would have said that. And I'll tell you this, if you do not have haters, you are doing something wrong. You need those comments. That tells me that you're doing something right. Spiritually, I was telling everybody, as soon as you start elevating, get ready. This is spiritual 101. All the little spirits are going to be talking to each other, and they're going to be like, attack them. And then the weak ones, the weak vessels are going to be like, yeah, you're fat, Wendell. You're this, you're that. And it's just trying to get you distracted from, we always say, like, get you off from the wall. There's a wall that you're building. This is a biblical reference. There's a wall that you're building. Do not come down from the scaffolding. Stay up there, because you got work to do. And that's what has kept me. They want you to come down from the wall and go explain to them. We don't explain nothing. We're working here.
I love that.
But as far, like, to take it back to the other side of that though too, as far as standards go, I think you kind of have to ask yourself, like, okay, well, where am I at? Like, is my standard dipping with my body? Like, I know you said, like, I just don't want to pay the cost for being at 3% body fat. And I totally understand that. But I also, like, I after doing this for years now, like Coach Mike was just saying, like, there's the reverse phase, there's the cutting phase, there's a maintenance phase oftentimes too. And so I think if you have clarity on what phase you're in, because like you said, like, I want to grow, like, I want to get better. What phase are you in then? Because if you know where you're at, then you don't have to worry about what anybody says. You'd be like, yeah, duh, of course I look fluffy. Do you see me lifting all this heavy weight? Like, I'm about to put some muscle on, you know? Or if you're in that maintenance phase, like, what, it doesn't matter. Like, you're like, this is where I'm at. And my standard for this season of my life are exactly where it needs to be. Like, I'm not slipping on my standards because I have a plan. Like, I think that's the thing. Your standards, like, there are, if you're not following a plan, there is no standard. So if you're unclear on a standard, you're probably not clear on a plan.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it doesn't bother me. I think it's quite entertaining, to be honest with you. It's kind of funny, but it's also, but I did have to ask myself, like, am I settling? Like, is there a time where you're like, man, I'm earning an X amount of dollars. Like, I like where I'm at. I'm not going to push. I don't want to pay the price to earn $3 million a year. Like, I'm okay with where I'm at. Like, or should there be continual growth? Like, should you be continually stretching yourself? Or are there times where you can say, you know what, I've kind of found my sweet spot. I love being at 10% body fat. I'm just going to maintain that.
Yeah, my outlook on all that is, I think it's, you can get to a spot where you're like, you know what, I'm at 10% body fat. I'm gonna lock this in and I'm just gonna stay here. But where I'm gonna really push is on the spiritual side. I'm really gonna push on the financial side, or I'm really gonna push on the sales side, whatever it may be. What the thing is where people go wrong is they just drop it. I'm like, you have to just lock this in and then hold it, and then you just push on this other lacking area until you're. And then by that time, you're like, you know what, I want to put on some muscle. And then you go back to this side. Yeah. It's like, it's fun. To me, that's fun. Other people would be like, let's go drink and do all. I'm like, this is fun to me, honestly. Creating your, like, I guess, Wendell, for me, I would ask yourself to sit down and really have a conversation with God and yourself and co-labor and find out where's my next direction. Have a little understanding and wisdom on your next steps. This has nothing to do with anybody else's opinion. This is entirely where the Spirit is leading you. You have to be able to listen to the Spirit and be like, this is my call. This is the call. And I guess the question is, I think most people are answering phone calls that are meant for somebody else. We're supposed to answer the telephone, our own telephone, not somebody else's. So it's like, what is the Spirit telling you to do? Is it telling you to put on 10 more pounds of muscle because that's going to make you a better leader? Or is it telling you get more tapped into above so you can know your purpose better and you can know your identity better? Because in all reality, I don't think anybody can know their identity if you don't know God. The more you know God, the more you know your identity. That's my true, you could just make some stuff up. You could be like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. I'm like, but God said you're this, this, and this. This one's not bad. I think that's good for the world, but this is your true identity. If you don't know your true identity, how can you really fulfill your real purpose? So I could talk on this for hours, to be honest with you, because that's my life, like really. But yeah, that's kind of what I would personally do, is sit there, kind of get the answers, co-labor with God, and be like, all right, this is what I'm doing.
Well, I really appreciate that, because I've got like a whole page of notes.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get the email.
Oh, wow.
Somebody texted me, said, hey, are you jumping on that call? And he sent me the links. Like, yes. I didn't know why, but now I know why, because you just answered some things that questions that I've had and things I've been wrestling with. So I really appreciate it. It's good seeing you again.
Man, that's so amazing. Oh my God. I haven't seen this guy in probably a year, maybe close to a year. And he's doing really good, like so good. We met each other on a mentorship program, and then he jumped on my program, and then I kind of flipped his world in a certain area. So it's so cool.
Yeah.
We actually kind of met each other in the same kind of way at the event that we were in. He's like, dude, I needed to meet you. Like I needed to meet you. And then that's what kicked his next level up on. That was really cool.
Yeah. I've worked out, minimum of 4 days a week ever since then. It's completely changed. Like it's my identity, like it never has been before. So yeah, it's completely transformed how I see myself and how I feel about myself.
I see it. Like should I pull out the before pictures, man? Like you're a different guy, man. It's incredible. I'm telling you guys, he's a different guy. There's some people who get transformations, and then there's some people who get transformations and then lead a bunch of other people. He's one of those guys. He got like, I don't know how many people you got working alongside of you now. I mean, I just think it's so cool that you walked into that leadership role. And that's why I'm talking to you guys as leaders, because that's what you are. I mean, you're not on this call because you're a follower. You're on this call because you're a leader.
I was going to see if I can find that picture. It's probably on my social media. It might be on yours too somewhere, but it was a pretty drastic transformation. You can show it if you want. Like it's wild.
Yeah, no, it's good. Awesome, Wendell. Well, I appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, shoot. If anybody doesn't have any more questions, I hope you guys got some value from this. Yeah, it was really good connecting. I think there were some massive gems that were said on this call. I would write them down, put them in your notes, and then really apply them. We don't have a knowledge issue. We have an application issue. We don't want smarter people. We want people who are practical and do it. And that's what I want to give to you guys, is apply yourself. And I'll talk shit to you if I have to get you and push you a little bit until you do it. But you guys all have a good rest of the day. You have anything else?
No, it was just good to see everybody. So that's good.
Yeah, awesome. All right, you guys have a good rest of the day. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.